Hey guys, DM Philosophy here, Map's the name. Just going to go over my latest map here. We've got the latest map in the Terrangal campaign setting that I'm launching into with my friends in about a week's time. This is the 5th map, and this is the Shyak Empire, and it lies much further south than the 5 kingdoms. So anyway, let's jump in and have a look at this map. So here we've got a quick sketch of where it fits in. So we've got the 5 kingdoms up here. We've got Gardriel, or the kingdom of Gardrake, the kingdom of Hansed, the kingdom of Tarsingil, the alliance kingdom of the Trillion Cities, and then we've got sort of the rough and rugged Ardian Ver. And then we've got the Shyak Empire down here. So this is sort of an oriental themed, sort of Japanese-esque in its makeup, and there's a sort of a bit more of a wild orient sort of to the south of there even further. So as I do these maps, I'll be putting together these location maps so that you know where they fit into the grand scheme of things. Just look at my latest map and I'll show you where each map lies on with this thing. So obviously the Orient, let's have a look at these maps. So this is the Shyak Empire. This is the high resolution one. It's just taking a little while to load in because it is about 60 megabytes or something like that. That is a very large high resolution. It's just my computer's taking its time. There we go. So that's a high resolution image. This is good for printing. If you want to print it onto A0 paper, it comes in at about 266 pixels per inch, which is perfectly fine for a print. And the ideal for publishing print is 300, but 266 you're not going to notice any difference. And on A1 that'll come in at 377 pixels per inch, so quite a bit higher, and it will look beautiful at that scale as well. I do plan on printing mine out onto A0 as soon as I can fork up a little bit of money for that, because it's not cheap here in New Zealand. But anyway, this is the Shyak Empire. We've got the capital city here, the Shyak city, and the rest of the empire is spread out over a number of islands. It does look a little bit like Japan, I suppose, but it's not. And I've appropriated Japanese place names to name all the locations to give it an authentic feel. Anyway, I'll show you the rest on the VTT version, just because it does load a bit quicker. Here you go. Here's obviously it looks the same. So that's the VTT version, and even with this version, which is below 10 megabytes, you can still quite easily zoom in and see all of these locations. Just bear in mind that I am rendering this on a 4K monitor, and downscaling it to 1080p, so you'd expect to get high quality resolution the same as about a quarter of my screen if you were running on a 1080p monitor. But all of the place names are oriental in nature, just to keep the theme going and to make it feel realistic. All the forests and so on are named, the mountains are named, and the like. So it is, yeah, the home of the monks and the kensai, and the samurai can either be a samurai or a fighter for that matter, and so on. So this will be where that thematic element of Dungeons and Dragons sort of will originate from. Like I say, this is the more sort of orderly orient as such, so I'm borrowing from like the Chinese empire, you know, the various empires, and the Japanese culture and something like that. You know, steel, big, appropriate is the name of the role-playing mantra. Yeah, so that is the Shyak Empire, and I'll be putting that onto RPG Now, and so you can find it there. And hopefully when used in conjunction with the other maps, it can provide either a place of origin if you want to start with something oriental, or if you want to have it as that exotic locale that they're going to make their journey to. It's across quite a fair distance of sea, so it would be quite a hefty journey. My Trillion City, sort of the navigating naval sort of power in the Five Kingdoms, their merchant shippers have the sea charts to get to the Shyak Empire, so they've been trading, but it is intermittent, based on seasonal winds and the like. So there's only a couple of times of the year that they can make the journey through there, because they got to cross over a pretty horrendous ocean to get there. And yeah, so that's the Shyak Empire. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy that, and hopefully I'm slowly expanding and building a world that you might like to join in at some point. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and happy gaming, people.